What's up? I'm Sam, and welcome to my podcast, I Never Shut Up. The reason for that title is because, well, according to my friends, I ramble and I never stop talking, especially things I like to talk about, which is perfect for the name of a podcast, especially this one. So, welcome. My first episode, a little introduction about me. My name is Sam. Hello. I am 28 years old. I live in Florida, and this is like my fourth attempt now into the internet podcast, vlogging, whatever you want to call it what you want kind of thing. It all started when I started YouTubing about 6 years ago, which was a good run, but something I just kind of fell off of. Other life things got in the way. With that, I went into streaming on Twitch and Kick. And I mean, part of that is because I stopped doing that. Part of that being that I just, kind of fell off of it once again. Also, my PC needs some adjustments in order to continue streaming in good quality. And then I also had another podcast at one point, a group podcast with my cousin and my friend called You Were Saying. And that we only did like a couple years ago. Luckily, I won't be only doing solo episodes. This is just for the introduction. And a lot of friends that I had on the You Were Saying podcast, even the one we did way back in the day, you'll be seeing them on here in future episodes. So that is what this is. Mainly, I will be talking about entertainment things, movies, video games, some music, TV shows. Those are my favorite topics of discussion. I'm a huge film buff, and I also am a huge gamer. And with that, I like watching TV shows. I actually, never really... I loved binging back in the day, and then I just stopped, and now I'm slowly getting back into it. So yeah, and I just love talking about these things. And, I know there's a lot of other people doing it, but I also like to talk about these things. So I'm gonna. But today we are not talking about any of those things. I guess, some of them kind of intertwine into those topics, but we are talking about the theme park, which is another thing I like to talk about. We talk about more theme park stuff, but we're going to be talking about Epic Universe, which opened up at Universal Orlando Resort. It is actually now open to the public now. Now, I'm a Universal pass holder, so I was able to preview this. I went about a month ago. So we're running off a month worth of memory. Can I paint a vivid picture of a memory from a month ago? That's to be determined. But I thought with it just opening now, be a good introduction thing to talk about. So, Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort. It's their first big, I believe it's like Orlando's first theme park to open since Islands of Adventure at Universal, and that was already like 25 years ago, something like that. And yeah, I've been following this park for a while now. When I heard Nintendo World was coming to Universal in Orlando, oh, I was so giddy. I was very happy about that. And that was many years ago. That was before I even lived in Florida. And with that, everything just started unfolding with hearing about a dark universe and another Harry Potter world and all of that. So, if you don't know about Epic Universe, it's just Universal's brand new theme park and Orlando's brand new theme park and my review of it. So, overall, Epic Universe is an amazing theme park. So immersive. So immersive. It is Universal's best theme park for sure. I had a great time. However, I do think, is it something brand new or redefining? For Universal, yes. In theme park standards, now I've only been to a handful, and I think the best thing you can really compare to is Disney. And it is some Disney level stuff. Now, I'm not saying Universal kind of lacks behind. They kind of just do things differently than Disney. I like to think that Disney is more about their theming. They're more about their theming and making you feel like you are walking. Like when you go into Galaxy's Edge at Hollywood Studios, for instance. They want you to feel like you are walking into Star Wars, that you are in that movie. And they do a great job at that. The budget is definitely being made in fair use, if I do say so myself. Epic Universe, in a nutshell, is on that level for sure. I mean, these guys like really knocked it out of the park. The attention to detail and some shit. I mean, we'll just start with going around a little bit. We'll start Super Nintendo World. Now, I grew up playing the Mario games and a lot of other Nintendo games, and yeah, they really throw you into that mess. I mean, I thought the piranha was actually the PD piranha plant was actually gonna fucking kill me. No, but anyways, I mean, walking into the warp pipe, and then you walk out of Peach's castle into Mushroom Kingdom, and then you're just seeing it all right there. It's beautiful. It is glorious to look at. And the thing is, I was worried it was like just from pictures and videos. Now I saw all that, but when you actually see it right in front of you and you're in there, it's a whole different thing. I was kind of scared that it was just gonna be too small. I think it's the perfect size. I think over time, yes, they could expand on it. But man, it's just the detail. Like, you really feel like you're in that video game, and you can't believe that what you're seeing is real life. That's how I felt. And I mean, if you're a big Nintendo fan, you're gonna feel that way going into there. Like, nothing felt cheap, nothing felt off. It feels like Nintendo. And we'll get into the rides here in a minute. I'm just kind of describing each land and how I felt about it. Super Nintendo World was... Sorry if you heard that. I have a cat. And sometimes, and he also doesn't shut up. His name's Bruno. Yeah, and he don't shut up either. Anyways, making our way to Dark Universe. Dark Universe was, as a land, I don't think it had much going on it. However, I saw it during the day. Now, I hear at night is when they make it really immersive and make it really cool with their saloon bar that's got the windmill. I forgot what the name of it is, but they like light that on fire, and that's cool. And the castle's amazing. The castle for where Monsters Unchained is, that looks awesome. Now, I will say there's not a bad section in this park. I will say though that I think Dark Universe is probably the smallest out of all of them, and it's also just, I just feel like there's not too much going on with it. It kind of feels like you're just outside in your everyday life. And my everyday life, which means that my everyday life is Dark Universe. Yeah, no, it's okay. It's alright. I think, maybe at night it is cooler to see, and I missed out on that. So, that is my bad for missing that. Harry Potter Ministry of Magic. Now, I mean, Harry Potter and Universal, they've never done anything. That's a collab. Man, that's my favorite collab on earth. They never did anything wrong. Diagon Alley at Studios, it's awesome. It's amazing. That is one of the best looking sections of any theme park I've ever been to. I hate walking through it. I feel like I'm going to have a panic attack. It's just very crowded. That's because it's just very small. And I know I'm not the only one that thinks that. But it is a great park nonetheless. And then Hogsmeade, obviously. Holy shit. Talk about spot on iconic. I mean, it just looks perfect. So, Ministry of Magic, once again, looks beautiful. You're in Paris. Now, I was only in there for a little bit. I'm just going to make this clear real quick before I start getting onto the rides that I did not do the Battle of the Ministry ride. The virtual queue for that shit during previews. I mean, now I know I'm not the only one that thinks this. That was a bummer. I mean, when a time would come up, when you're supposed to like click a time to get your virtual queue and everything, I'd click it and it was already gone. Everyone and their mom was doing it. We all had the same idea, obviously. I feel like they should have had more time slots personally, or they should have at least done standby during it. But I know it was in technical rehearsal. It was a shame. So I didn't spend too much time in Ministry of Magic, but it looked very nice. I mean, it's very immersive. That honestly might be Harry Potter's most immersive area. I think. Diagon Alley might still be number one. I don't know. It's one or the other. But anyways, Isle of Berk, How to Train Your Dragon. Now, I've never seen a How to Train Your Dragon movie. I have to watch them. I hear it's amazing. Now, I know for me, starting off with this, saying I love movies, I'm a huge film buff, and I've never seen one of the most beloved animated sagas of all time. Yeah, I know. Sounds a little crazy. I do need to watch those. I hear they're amazing. I want to see them. They do look amazing, and this park was breathtaking. I mean, I think it's its biggest park for sure in that park, the biggest section in that park. And yeah, man, I mean, just the way all that looked with, I'm trying to describe it. There was like this mountain. Now, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know the significance, but there was like a mountain with all the like little houses that just kept climbing and climbing. It looked like it was tilting a little bit. And it was, yeah, no, that was probably its most like beautiful, breathtaking section to look at. And yeah, I was blown away by it. Celestial Park, well, to give it a nice review, it is the glue of Epic Universe. It keeps all the portals together, you know? Other than that, there's not much to it. You're outside, it's hot. It's very spacious, I'll give it that. It's got like an intergalactic theme, but that's pretty much it. And yeah, Epic Universe, heavily blown away by. I think this is exactly what Universal Studios needed. It's exactly what Orlando needed, just for like a new theme park to open up in Florida, which really is kind of like theme park central. This was a job well done. Bravo. Now, you know, you can have cool looking parks and everything. You can have cool scenery to look at. But why do you go to a theme park? Because of their rides. And that wouldn't matter if you didn't have rides. So, like I said, the only ride I really didn't get to do that I wanted to do was Battle at the Ministry. Already said about that. I didn't do like Fire Drill at How to Train Your Dragon, which is their water ride. It was cool, which is pretty much like you're on these ships and you're, you know, shooting water at like the opposing ship. It's got more people on it. Very cool. I'm sure it's awesome. I just didn't feel like getting soaked that day. And you know, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I missed. I didn't do their carousel, which I heard is pretty cool for a carousel, but you know, that's a sentence. I mean, if it's cool for a carousel, well, how cool is it really? No, I'm sure it's fine. I just don't really go out of my way to go on those kind of things. That's just me, though. So, I am going to rank each ride. And then I got a little scale for it, too. A little grading scale for it. So, here is my rank. Here are my ride ranks of Epic Universe. The rides there. So, of the 7 I did, number 7, I have Curse of the Werewolf, which is at Dark Universe. It is like the Tilt-A-Whirl meets a roller coaster. A roller coaster that lasts literally like a minute. It was over when it began. You know, kind of just doing a lot of up and down. Now, it's not like vertical velocity at Six Flags Great America. My Chicago people, you know what I'm talking about. It's not just like that. It does feel like you're going a lot back and forth, but, you know, it's got a little bit of a trail on it. And you're spinning on it. It's cool for what it is. I wish it was longer. I wish there was more werewolfism to it. You know, I just kind of wish I had more going for it. Like I said, it's over right when it starts. It's fine. It's cool. Could do a little more for it. For that, though, you know, for the Tilt-A-Whirl aspect, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. All right. Number 6, I have Yoshi's Adventure at Super Nintendo World. You know, it is essentially the people mover for Magic Kingdom of this ride. And then you got the Dr. Seuss, the Sneetches one at Dr. Seuss area at Islands of Adventure. It's essentially that. And it's like half dark ride too. Now, listen, most people, like children, are gonna love this because it's also like an egg hunt. You gotta like look for the egg, and if you see that egg, then you press the color of it, and you know it's cool. And I don't know if there's a point system on it. I don't remember that exactly. But if you're a Nintendo fan and you're a child, I am both. You're gonna enjoy it for what it is. You know, I enjoyed. You get a very good view and spectacle of Super Nintendo World on this. And it was just nice to be on. You get like little flashes of Yoshi and Baby Mario, and like I said, as a Nintendo fan, you're gonna enjoy it. But it is just a people mover, just a very slow and half dark ride. Get some nice views, and I give it a 6 out of 10. Really, nothing much more to say about it than that. You know, if I wasn't a Nintendo fan, probably be lower. I'd probably actually have it last place, but I have some bias towards it. Number 5, I have Hiccup's Wing Gliders, which is at How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk. Now, I think it's probably one of the best family coasters I've been on. And boy, as far as getting like views on a roller coaster, because, you know, some roller coasters are just for thrills, where you're just focusing on what's happening in the ride. You're not really focusing on the outer stuff. This one is kind of dependent on that. For a family coaster, I think it's got a lot of fun things going on in it. Couple decent drops, and it feels very adventurous going through it. A little faster for an average family coaster. Like, I feel like the one you could really compare it to the most is Slinky Dog at Hollywood Studios at Disney. I feel like this one moves faster than it. As far as scenery, I mean, that's hard because you're comparing with scenery of How to Train Your Dragon versus scenery of Toy Story. Apples and oranges. So it's hard to compare those two. But, you know, for those who haven't been on it, and if you've been on Slinky, it's similar to that. Just takes it up a notch just by a hair. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it for what it was. I give it a 7 out of 10. Breaking down into my top 4 now. Number 4, I got Mario Kart's Bowser Challenge. Now, the Nintendo nerd in me was very hyped for this, but was also like, how do you do a Mario Kart ride? Now, the queue for this, holy shit. Walking in through Bowser's Castle, hearing all the music, seeing all the statues, and just the different things to kind of gaze at while you're waiting in line. You're not going to be bored. I mean, I'll tell you that much. You ain't going to be bored. It's awesome. I can't believe the detail they went into this. There's a room where you're like looking at Bowser's books, and it was like 10 ways to stomp a Yoshi, some things like that. Just like goofy stuff mixed in with things that you've seen in the video games. Yeah, the queue alone gets a bravo. But the ride itself, I think, for making a Mario Kart ride happen and possible and making it work and fun to go on, I think they did the best they could. It's not perfect. I think a lot of great rides can spawn from what they were trying to do. So pretty much it's a dark ride with animatronics, and then you're wearing this like VR goggle set. You strap it onto your Mario visor that you wear. And then that's where you see the characters that you're racing and make it feel like that, you know, you're not just going on a dark ride looking at cool shit. You're in Mario Kart and you're racing and you're throwing shells at Luigi and Peach and all that. Now, yeah, does it mix well with wanting to see animatronics while focusing on this race? Not exactly. What do you want them to do? I mean, like, this was definitely an original idea. There's nothing really else like it. I mean, the only other thing you can do is actual go-karts. But then it's like, how do you do go-karts and make it feel like you are in Mario Kart? You know what I mean? I think it's the most possible and best they could do for something that's really never been done before. I give them credit where credit's due. The Rainbow Road part at the end is fucking awesome. Now that one, I mean, and that's like kind of like the most important part, you know? Rainbow Road screams Mario Kart. It's the most iconic thing. If you've never played Mario Kart, you know what Rainbow Road is just by seeing it. And yeah, that part was awesome. So that's really all that matters. Mario Kart's Bowser Challenge gets a 7 out of 10 for me. You know, you gotta give them credit where credit's due, and you gotta understand that they really pulled off what they could pull off. Number 3, I have Donkey Kart. Excuse me, this podcast failed. Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. Now, that might be a hot take for people who've been on this. I've been hearing a lot of people say, like, it's too jerky, it's too much. Well, boo frickety who. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it jerks a little bit, but you're jumping from track to track. You know, that's gonna happen. I feel like that's kind of like the intent. I thought Minecart Madness was a fucking blast. This was one of the coolest little coasters I've been on. Yeah, it's a family ride, but I think this even takes it up a notch more than Wing Gliders as a family coaster because it's got some thrill into it. And the music of it, you know, it feels like you're also in a video game. Like, it feels like, I mean, Mario Kart, for instance, when you do the DK Mountain level and you, like, go through the cannons, feels like you're going through that. And jumping through track to track. Yeah, it feels like a video game. And then at the end, you know, with the awesome animatronics of Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong, looks like they just won a level. I enjoyed every second of this ride. I did. I mean, yeah, has its jerkiness, but I feel like that's kind of a part of its charm, and it really isn't as bad as everyone's making it out to be. I think everyone's going to enjoy that one, especially Nintendo fans, gamer fans all around. I give that one a 9 out of 10. Number 2, I have Stardust Racers, which is their big thrill coaster. It is the dueling coaster. I mean, you know, we don't have Dueling Dragons, also Dragon Challenge anymore. So it's nice to have a new dueling coaster in Universal. And this ride is very fun, very thrilling. I think it's very drop dependent, which you gotta love. You're just constantly just going up and down, just waving around. And they have a very surprising steep drop at one point. Like, it's the one that kind of twirls. I think it's the one that it's their highest point. And then when it goes down and it twirls, and that shit was steeper than I thought it was going to be. Caught me off guard. But I enjoyed it. And I mean, I give this ride a 10 out of 10. I'm a huge coaster guy. Now, the biggest thing is Stardust Racers better than Velocicoaster, which is probably, I think, collectively, everyone agrees that that's Universal's best roller coaster. And arguably, Florida and America and the world's best roller coaster ever. Now, I think that as well. Velocicoaster, when I first went on that shit, like 4 years ago, my soul left my body in the most amazing way. Never been on anything like it before in my life. Now, I'm not going to sit here reviewing Velocicoaster, although I could, but I'm not going to. Stardust Racers, everyone's kind of comparing the two, like, oh, is this the better one? And you got some people who think that, you know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But me personally, I think Velocicoaster is better still. It's more my kind of ride. It's more thrilling. Stardust Racers is more, I don't know how to describe it. They're just two different rides. Velocicoaster is very intense. Very intense. Like although it feels kind of smooth for how intense it is. It's, you know, very reliant on your barrel rolls and your corkscrews, and yeah, they got like a couple drops, whereas Stardust Racers is more dependent on your air time and your drops and all that. They're two completely different roller coasters. I just prefer Velocicoaster a little bit more. I will say Stardust Racers is probably Universal's second best roller coaster. Very good. 10 out of 10. Absolutely. They did not miss with that. You're a roller coaster person, you're going to love this one. My number 1 is Monsters Unchained at Dark Universe. Holy shit. Now, the queue for that also is amazing. It's like a upgraded Haunted Mansion going through the queue, and half Tower of Terror. The ride itself, fuck. Now, that is redefining. This is redefining dark rides of just, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I was literally blown away, and even just talking to my friends about it, like in Discord calls and just on the phone and conversations, it was hard to explain and put into words. It's kind of something you just gotta see for yourself, but like the way that they are merging the visuals with the screens as well as animatronics, it's crazy how they made them go hand in hand. And also like the way your seats are moving with it. Now, what I will say is the way you move around in it, I'm sure you've already heard before, is very similar to Forbidden Journey at Islands of Adventure. Now, with this, I think it's a lot smoother. I don't know. Forbidden Journeys, sometimes I feel like I am just doing like a lot of going up and down. I can see why people get motion sickness on that. It feels like you are just kind of being whipped around for the sake of it. Like, hey, you're on a ride. Let's not forget that you are on a ride, so we have to move you because you're on a ride. Monsters Unchained doesn't really do that as much. It like kind of does do a lot of sudden stops, makes you feel like you're gonna fall over a little bit, but then picks you back up and then kind of like brings you down. It smoothly moves you, and you don't feel like you're being overwhelmed with too much shit to look at or you miss something. It kind of forces you to pinpoint on what they want you to look at. So, for example, at one point, I'm going to use my gaming chair as a good example for those of you who are watching this, because I got 2 audio and video recordings of this podcast. Anyways, so like when the ride would do this, I'm looking at a screen now and I'm going back this way. And with that, it's a screen follow into another screen of the Wolfman kind of like closely getting at you, and then they move you around a little bit and there's the animatronic jumping out ready to murder me. That's what they're doing on that ride. It's so cool, it's so smooth, it's so well put together. It is probably the best dark ride I've ever been on. Now I know the biggest comparison is, what's the best ride? And the main 2 are this and Battle at the Ministry. I did watch a video of Battle at the Ministry. I'm kind of ashamed that I did it, but I really was just too eager to see what it was like, and I'm not going to step foot in that park anytime soon. Holy shit, did y'all hear about the fucking opening day? And Battle at the Ministry had a 5-hour wait? Sheesh. Yeah, no, couldn't be me. I'm going to wait probably another year to go into there again. But, can't really compare the 2 because I haven't been on one. But those are the 2 that are going back and forth between people on what's the best ride there. Now, I mean, without a doubt, I feel like I'm going to stick with Monsters Unchained. It gets an infinity out of 10 from me, by the way, as far as the rankings go. Yeah, no, that ride was absolutely bonkers and insane, and I loved every minute of it. Literally, I was in the single riders line, so just got put with like a couple random people, and we're all like, holy shit, like during the entire time. When it was over and we got off of it, I was like, so that's the best ride at Universal, right? And like a couple people were like, that's probably the best ride ever. And I'm just like, I don't know about that. But, definitely up there. I understand. But we all have recency bias. Yeah, Monsters Unchained's fucking cool. You like more thrilling on the edge dark rides? Definitely gotta check it out. It's unlike anything else. And even Bruno agrees. Anyways, so to kind of wrap this up, I'm gonna rank the actual parks now, sections itself. I actually meant to do this first. Number 5, I got Celestial Park. Like I said, it is just kind of like the main welcome section of Epic Universe. There's not too much theming to it, not much going on. It's just the glue that keeps all the portals together. So that's really that. Now, I don't have like a grading scale on like 1 to 10 on how I think about this, just because I don't, and I just don't, and it's just not going to happen. Number 4, Dark Universe. Like I said before, I think at night, yes, that's probably where it really shines. But it just kind of feels like I'm outside and I got a cool castle to look at, and that's about it. And it's very small. A lot of sections are small. You gotta give that a pass, though, because I think, in the next 5 years, they're gonna start expanding on this park. And, we've seen it before. Number 3, Ministry of Magic. In contender of it being Harry Potter's most immersive section in all of Universal, next to Diagon Alley, I think. Very, very cool with how they make everything look there, and even like the little acapella group that plays there. That's just like a nice little bonus. They got like saxophones playing, and yeah, that was cool. I watched that for a few minutes. If you've seen that in there, you know what I'm talking about. You kind of just get lost watching that for a little bit. Number 2, How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk. Definitely its largest section. I think it's most like beautiful and stunning looking section. And this is coming from someone who's never even seen the movies, and I was just like, God damn, they knocked it out of the park with that one. No pun intended. Yeah, no, awesome. And I'm definitely gonna watch the movies now. So thank you, Universal, for inspiring me to have a movie to watch now. And then number one, Super Nintendo World. I mean, I think that was kind of obvious from how I was leading up to this with never shutting up about how I love Nintendo so much. And just, I mean, if you've seen the videos, you've seen the pictures, yes, you can tell from there, but just being there in person, it is so crazy the amount of detail. Like, bravo to Universal on Epic Universe. It's all amazing. I can't wait to see other people's reaction to this now that the park is fully open to the public now. And I can't wait to go back there in a year or two when it is not utterly crazy to go through. And yeah, that's that. So that is my podcast. And I don't really have an idea of how I'm going to end these things yet. We're just going to end it right now with a little goodbye. But yes, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. And thank you for sticking around. And I will see you all for the next episode. See ya.